Hey everybody, it's Jo here. Welcome. I'm from Our Chemical Journey. It's really lovely to have you here. So I've been called to make this video and I've tried a couple of times and it's all gone tongue-tied and weird. So I'm going to try again because I'm going to follow my calling and not give up too quickly. And for me, this video is about selfhood, or of course, because that's what I'm so passionate about. And I kept getting, when you reclaim your flame, the chains begin to break. And that is just so relevant in these times, I feel, because we are in crazy times. If you have been in the last 6 years consciously, you totally get where I mean. But for me, there's still this trying to figure out what's to come, what's going to happen, where are we heading, what does it mean? And I'm just really seeing this sort of externalization when we need to be figuring it out within, like really figuring it out within because of what is to come. And if you are in the know, then we know that something is coming. We know that something is coming. And I have always, since before the COVID and the pandemic and all of that stuff, I have always had this attitude that I am here for longevity and to reclaim this earth. I've always said it. And when COVID came, for me, that was like the beginning of where we're heading now. So this awakening has to come from within. And there is so much out there about trauma healing, shadow work, all these sort of buzzwords. And from my experience, and I'm only talking from my experience because that's the only solid truth I have. And I'm not predicting anything, I'm not sharing anything that the tarot showed me, anything. This is coming from me. And it's just for the changes that are coming, or just from my belief of staying here to the bitter end for as long as I can in the best health, in doing and creating as much change in myself, or not even change, embracing myself, but to create the change that we're all seeking and desperately wanting to get out of this control system. We have to really embrace who we are because within us is the only way we can step forward into any sort of It's the only way we can step forward into bringing about that change. Um, and there's been talk about non-conforming, stop paying our taxes, doing things that will really sort of stunt and sort of starve this system that we're in. But we can't even consider doing that if we are in fear. We can't even consider doing that if we are not in our courage. And where does that come from? It's not going to come from, we can be encouraged through the people that we hang around with, and hopefully you're hanging around people that are in that beautiful same energy, encouraging you. But we can't be power filled or powerful if we are not embracing that within, because we can only be as powerful as we feel. We can only be as fearless as we don't feel the fear. So there's this real passion in me, and it's not about talking the talk, it's really about walking the walk now. Because what is to come is going to blow minds. It is going to create ripple effects in communities. It really is. And it's all very well to know it in our minds, but what about the strength and the courage and the power we're going to need to embrace whatever's coming? Because it is going to come. And it doesn't even mean I'm not even talking just about, well, the system and the control systems that are in place. That's big enough. But even in our own personal life, in our living day to day, things like um, the changes that are amongst us is insane. For me, intuition, massive. I never do anything now that doesn't feel or light me up. Never. And I used to. be 90% in that power. I wouldn't do anything that I didn't feel good about, but yet I did for the sake maybe of my husband or my kids or whatever. And I stopped doing that. So for me, I have a really tremendous intuition and energy. And I'm just going to tell you a story of, and this is about stepping into your power. So there's a person around us, and I've known this person for um, 30 years. And this person is a friend of the family. And something about this person that just is a complete and utter no. I don't like the energy, I don't like the feel of it, I don't want to be around it. And that's been fine because we haven't really had any connection. We did sort of say hello to each other a little, way back, but we haven't spoken to each other for years. Then this year, all of a sudden, this person decides that she wants to. She says to somebody that I know that I really I really want to get to know Joe because, I really like her and I really want to like build our friendship and things like this. So on being told that, I was like, why? Why now? Like why now? And I have no um my intuition in me has got no intention to hang around this person. She's just not my person. So very cleverly, she said this to my husband, and he reported back and said this is what she said, and I was like no. So a couple of times I've seen her and she's come over and said hello, and tried to engage, and I've just been like polite, hello, yeah, because I've been in company of others or whatever. But still, it's like when this person approaches me, I get like I can feel it in my whole body, in my whole biofield. I just feel it. There's something not right. There's something off. She may be a lovely person, but for me, she isn't, and that's that. So anyway, we had a few heated conversations. You should maybe just sort of be polite and say hello and goodbye. And adamantly, I'm like, no, I can't do that. I don't. My body is not. I can't feel that. So for my reasons, I'm sharing that I'm not doing that because, I don't feel it, whatever, it doesn't serve me. And then very interestingly enough, after the weeks have gone by, this person has decided not to now not to now speak to my husband again. So she's totally cut us off. And this is clarity for me because my husband has got his own gifts and powers, but he's a little bit slower to the table when it comes to intuition and the energetic. We're different, we're different people. So sometimes I can be saying things and he can't see it at all until later on he sees it. So this is clarity for me. And this is why I've told you that story is because this is how truthful and how much we need to honor ourselves. We really do. We need to really act on what is true and what is real and what feels right for us. Because within that, we lose our fears. We have great boundaries and we step into our courage and we step into our truth. It's like taking yourself on and seeing how you can change your world. And we're really at that place now. And I'm really full up on information and knowledge. There's so much I don't know, but what I do know about through my own research and what my intuition and from remembering, it's enough for me to know about it, observe it, but not engage with it. Because when I do, I become weak. It weakens me down. It interferes with my sleep. It gets me, it takes me from feeling grounded, feeling strong, and feeling courageous today. And this is what I'm trying to encourage in people. And this selfhood is so underrated. Yeah, it's the revolution that is needed to happen. Really, it is. It's no longer about going along with the system. We are stuck in the system, but how we create our life within it has to be personal. We have to bring it back to this absolute truth of how we want to be in this life, how we want to create in this life, and what we want to do, and how we want to move forward. Because we don't know any of that unless it's coming from within, unless it's coming from the truth, unless it's coming from our own research about ourselves. And it's not, it's the research, when you take your self on, when you decide to do that, it's more exciting than anything you've ever researched. Believe me. And also this sort of beautiful connection you get with yourself and this inner trust and this like you're opening the door to allow your greatness to be received. It's just amazing. And the bypass of this is what is keeping us in this external space and time. We feel we need to learn, we need to research. We are incredible people, humans, not even people. We are incredible humans with these amazing souls. And they know the powers that we have. This is why the suppression is so heavy, you know. And so the powers of the research and just of what we are, like what are you bringing to the table? What are you about? This isn't about you feeling lack or feeling like you have no purpose for this ride. We all have. And what's amazing is not amazing, but I'm even noticing the communities that we used to hang about with that were, awake and we were talking about all this stuff. There's even like this sort of drifting apart now from that because these people are staying on their level of awakeness or frequency. And then there's this inner magic that happens when we become a little bit more still and a little bit more silent. And I have a beautiful friend, she's 87, and she is amazing to know, the 30 years difference with us. And this doesn't stop this learning work about self. This doesn't stop. This is the evolution. It's just amazing. And I can't awakening the flame in you breaks the chains. That is the purpose of this video. I am really, really enjoying being in Joe's space and time, in my garden, in my walks, in my doing, in my sitting in my house, in my making of dinner and things, because she has been suppressed for so long through my conditioning, my parents, my conditioning, being the black sheep, being the weirdo, being this one. And I made a video with Gary from Alternative Interactions, and we were talking about the weirdisms. And it was lovely because in the comments on my video that I posted and Gary's, many, many people can relate to. And, there's many of us who are experiencing our own powers, our own timeline shifts, our glitches, our putting something down and can't find it and then coming back and finding it. These weirdisms that we spoke about on that video. There's so many of us like that. And this video again is about finding others because we are the change. You are the change. I am the change. And that has to come from within. It doesn't matter if we know, we have to feel, because if the shit hits the fan as we are in our knowing space, then we're going to need ourselves big time. We're going to need ourselves big time. So another example just quickly is, and this is just my story. In 2023, I lost my nieces in a car crash, right? So it was horrendous, right? It was the most horrendous thing. 17 and 21, my brother's only children. So for 6 weeks I was in England tending to that, like in a absolute place and time that, it's a blur. But within that time, I got up earlier than my brother and my sister-in-law, and I did myself, whatever that means. I did my breath work, I did my practice, I made sure I had space for myself. People that I know, family and friends, all gathered around, really helpful and really helped me through my process. But in time, I'm still in my process moving forward, and my friends and everybody else who was supportive are just getting on with their lives, right? So this is like an example of, I feel, what it's like. At the end of the day, I have to take responsibility and become responsible for the trauma that I feel, the pain that I feel, the heartache that I feel, and all that sort of thing. Nobody can help me with that. They can be there as a listening ear. They can, but I have to do that. And this is how I feel with what's coming. A lot of us are so aware of it, but what are we going to actually do when it comes? Because most of the people I know are scattered around the earth. You know, like this is the strength and the power that we need to get ourselves through whatever comes our way. We are the change is within us. And when we embrace that, when you take time to know that, understand that, and envelop it, you become the revolution. And that's what this video is about. And I hope it makes sense because I'm a lot happier talking when I've got another person on the screen. But this needed to come out. And as shaky as it is, as jumpy as it is, it's just something that I want to put out there because I really want people to understand the importance of selfhood, the importance of selfhood right now in our times, because that's how we're going to get through. That's how we're going to come together. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. The power within should never be bypassed for the possibility of what's to come. It matters now, in this now time and space. It matters right now. And the more you embrace your capabilities and all of that goodness that you are, that wonder-filled potential, the innate potential of you, the just that's it. And we can get more focused on that, more creative on that, and then we can create the best life. We can create the best life right now in this moment. So, thanks for watching. If you've got any thoughts or feels about it, then I'd love to hear from you. Um, this is like my speaking out loud journaling. Um, I'm not brilliant at writing down, but what comes into my head sometimes is great for me to speak. And you know what's interesting is once I've stopped recording, it's really difficult to remember what it is I spoke about because it needs to come out now. It needs to be out. And if that serves me, then maybe it might serve you. And that's all that I do this for. So thank you for tuning in. It's been a great to have you here. If you've looked or watched, give us a like, maybe a subscribe if you feel drawn to. But thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Oh, I can't stop it. What's going on?